for a long, long time. Let's welcome back to the program. We just saw him not too long ago in Vegas. Your former UFC heavyweight champ, Tim Sylvia. Tim, what's up?
What's going on, man? Just broke for lunch, man. So I can talk to you and eat some tacos.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, he was one of my former co-hosts, but one of my favorite co-hosts. I definitely liked Joe a whole lot more than Knucklehead Matt. Joe wanted me to ask you, why do you use a nail gun and not hammer nails in when you do a roof?
The nail gun's a lot faster.
That's what I thought. You'll be up there all night swinging a hammer, putting in, a nail at a time.
Yeah, my 5-man crews would do a pretty square roof in a day.
With the gun?
That's a complete tear off and everything, yeah.
How long would it take if you used a nail?
A lot longer than a day, probably 2 days.
Well, obviously news broke, and what's typical in Knockout Radio, we get it after the news.
Come take a look at your roof.
You're coming to look at my roof?
I'm sorry. What's that, Randy? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're working. I thought you were coming to give me an estimate on the roof.
I'm eating, and then I saw a girl that she just posted on Facebook about Big Hill Days, and I'm like, you need to give me a holler. But she posted on Big Hill Days, I posted comment on a boat, then I just saw her.
I got you. So you're multitasking is what you're saying.
I'm multitasking. She's an ex-girlfriend. She's a lawyer now.
Oh. I'm not touching that. I'm not saying
nothing. They have that in that pocket. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not responding to that. I'm staying away from it. I don't want to get involved. But something that I do want to get involved in, so news broke last week that you are coming out of retirement and you're going to compete again.
I am going to compete in slap fighting championship, man. No, I can't do MMA, man. I'm too old for that. Knees won't let me train for that, but I can slap a mofo in the face, that's for sure.
How do we rate the coin flip so you get to slap first?
Yeah, the coin flip. Whoever wins the coin flip wins. Slap first.
That's so. Are you? I know you've been to Vegas a great deal, and I know you're on the internet, so you can figure it out. What are the odds? Is it better to call heads or tails, or how do they decide who makes the call?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm guessing I probably will because I have the better. I wouldn't say record, but I'm more, kind of like a champion. When they walk out, they come out second, they come out last, so I have more stature, maybe, is that what you'd say? I don't know.
Okay. How do you train for something like this? I know that you've posted you're back in the gym, you're training. How do you train, and what are you training?
Well, all these guys that I went to the event, none of them train. None of them work out. They're not professional athletes. I think that's where I have the advantage, not to mention I could hit high tech. But I'm just in the gym, and I'm just going heavy, man. I'm going heavy. I'm working a lot of traps, a lot of back, and make sure the neck's nice and strong. And I'm doing shoulders and stuff. That's where all the power comes from. You can't use your legs when you do slapping. You have to have your feet, a little more than shoulder width apart so that you don't pivot on that front foot. If you pivot on that front foot, that's a foul. And if you get 2 fouls, you automatically lose your turn. If you hit with your palm, that's called clubbing. So that you lose a turn in that as a foul as well. So there's a little bit of strategy to it. So I'm getting on the cable machine and I'm doing, heavy slap motions with my right arm and stuff, and I make sure I'm staying on my heels so I don't pivot on that front foot.
All right, we're all very familiar, with MMA, and I've been very critical about a lot of things in MMA, like grabbing a fence, you get a warning, grabbing a fence, you get a stern warning, grabbing a fence, you lose a point. So if you lose a turn, is it worth using the palm to lose your turn if you knock the guy out or injure him enough that your next slam?
So here's the trick. If you do it on the first shot and you knock him out, you don't lose it. It's only a warning. So that's what I plan on doing, man. I'm going to foul the hell out of him in the first shot. If he can stand up, well, he's a man, and we'll go around.
And that's what I was getting at, and that's the whole thing, that I've complained about MMA. Do it. Grab the fence, like what happened in the Usman fight, that could have changed. He loses a point, and then he comes back and dominates the fight. So I guess it makes sense. How do you? This is a serious question, even though it's going to sound kind of ridiculous.
Sure.
How do you train yourself not to flinch?
You can't train for that. I mean, that's obvious. But, I'm an alpha male, man. And I got no problem biting down in the mouth. Like, when I used to fight, I'm like, okay, like cabbage is the perfect example. You bite down the mouthpiece, you tighten up that neck, and you're like, okay, it's go time. You're going to stand in that phone booth, and you're both going to throw until somebody falls down. So I think I have that mentality where, I'm just going to bite down the mouthpiece, make sure my neck's nice and tight with my shrug. Say, give me your best shot, son. Let's see what happens.
All right, we're going to continue talking about, the event, but I need to tell this story. I know I've told it before, and I know Tim's well aware of it, but this is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen or ever been involved in. And I don't know if I've told you the story, Matt. So Tim wins his belt back in Anaheim.
Okay.
We both have a very good friend, Brad Penny, pitches for the Dodgers. We set it all up. We're going to go to the game, blah, 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 blah. So we're sitting in Brad Penny seats, which is like row 3, top notch, unlimited food, this, that, the other. So
unlimited food announced to us.
Well, yeah, at the time we didn't know yet. You're right. At the time we didn't know. So the late, great Ryan Bennett is with us. It's Tim, it's Ryan Bennett, and myself, and we're starving. So the usher walks down the aisle and is, anybody want some food? And we're like, yeah. So he hands us a menu. And I'm sure if we didn't know yet, I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying these prices. So then it's like, no, order what you want. So we ordered 412 hot dogs, 612 burgers, 2 sodas. The guy brings the food, and there's these 2 young guys sitting in front of us. You know where I'm going, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So these 2 young guys, late 20s, whatever, and we're just shoveling burgers and hot dogs. And they kept turning around and, like, snickering. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? The heavyweight champ of the world is sitting here. And finally he looks at him and he goes, what's going on? What's wrong? And these 2 kids go, is this your first time here? Kind of like, my thing at the car dealership, is this your first day? Right. And we're like, why? And they're like, because you're eating the crap. The good stuff's underneath the awning. That's where the shrimp and the filet mignon, and we're eating burgers and hot dogs, and they bring back trays of shrimp and filet mignon. It was kind of funny. We still went back there and killed that, though, too.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So how did this whole thing come down? Who reached out to you? Did you reach out to them? Tell me about
I seen it on the internet, and I was watching, clips on Instagram, Reels, or whatever, and I just commented. I said, man, I'd love to try this someday. And literally, once I did that, I immediately got an instant message. Hey, Tim, this is JT. I'm a huge fan. We've actually met a few times, and I promoted MMA, and I'd love to have you come to one of my events. I'd pay you to come down if you'd be a cornerman to these guys and check it out, see what you think. I'm like, absolutely, where? He's like, Branson, Missouri. I'm like, cool, I'll drive. It's only 7 hours. So I went, like, the next event they had, it was like, 2 or 3 weeks away. And funny, I didn't know Coleman ended up being there with me. And it was funny, Mark Coleman, gone sober and stuff. And
right.
He's always a hoot to hang around anyway. So we had a really good time doing it. And there was a guy that wouldn't, one of the super heavyweights pulled out, and I'm like, I'll do it. And that opponent wouldn't do it with me. He's like, I'm not doing that with you, bro. No. So JT's like, are you really serious about doing this? I'd like to try it. I mean, just try it. I mean, what's the worst that happen? I get knocked out, no big deal. He's like, well, you want to try it? I'll put you on an event. And so he did, and it's kind of blown up, man. You're getting a hold of me, and I got all kinds of other interviews, requests, and podcasts, and all that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, and again, I know it sounds silly, but a serious question. When I watched the other organization, everybody does the 3, the 2 attempts, and then the third is when you slap. What's the advantage to go in 3, or is there any advantages to 1 or 2?
The 3 is just make sure you get it lined up. So, like I said, you can't strike with the actual palm. It's called a club. So if you look at your hand, you open up your hand, you see where your thumb is. There's an imaginary line right there. You draw a line across there, and you can only hit with above the thumb and fingers up. So they're doing that 1-2 to line it up, make sure they don't strike with the palm or whatever, and get a foul.
Nothing wrong with the foul.
Well, if you get 2 of them, it is, because you lose the turn. So, and say you get rocked in that first one, then automatically he does the next one 5 seconds later. If you're rocked already, he just whacks you again. You're out cold, man.
Right.
So Tim, a lot of the guys I see are short and wide, and
And Tim's not. Is that what you're saying?
Tim's 6'8", right? So is there an advantage or disadvantage from the angle in which you're hitting? Because you're going to be.
Are you swinging down?
Are you swinging down, or are you swinging just across? Or
I'm going to be swinging across.
But still, unless they're your height, it's not going to be equal.
Right, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to have to swing up at me, and I'm not leaning forward, son. I mean, it's not my fault you're short. I'm getting up straight and tall. So how you going to hit my chin? I'm not leaning over that barrel for you to hit me. Like I said, get a step stool, whatever you got to do, but that's on you, brother.
You mentioned that you were corner and Mark Coleman cornered. What does a corner man do in this?
They're called catchers. If something gets knocked out, you catch them.
Wow. Is this back to the old days with sponsorship and all that kind of stuff as well?
Well, the thing is, surprisingly, these matches get like 1 million downloads. I mean, it's crazy how popular it is. And it's going to be on pay-per-view, so I worked out a pretty good deal with these guys. I'm not too concerned about getting paid up front. I'm more concerned about the downloads and the pay-per-views and the ticket sales, because it's going to be in Oklahoma, my first match. And I'm really, really good friends with all the Street Outlaw 405 guys. They're all coming. I get other Street Outlaws coming from New Orleans and from Florida and stuff. So it's going to be a big event. I have a lot of people showing up.
Well, I'm certainly not an outlaw, but I can call Brad, and Brad and I will come out.
You won't.
We can go.
What's this we?
But Branson, Missouri is awesome.
I know. I've always wanted to go there.
It's a great time.
Listen to me. This one ain't in Branson, Missouri. It's in Oklahoma, OKC. And Branson, Missouri is awesome, especially in the summertime.
It is. It's pretty amazing.
But again, I'm being serious. Sponsorship wise, I mean, are you wearing their logo stuff?
You have to wear their shirt, but I can wear a logo hat. I'm trying to work on that now with a local dealership where I might wear a hat and I might be getting a truck, like a 3-year deal with a truck, because this is going to be my first match. I'm probably going to do at least 3 or 4 of the flat, as long as I don't get knocked out the first time. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic that I won't, but there's a chance I do, and if I do, then I'm done.
Well, and especially since this is your first time. I mean,
right.
We all think we know, but you don't know until you actually go out there.
But I'm really banking on the fact that I'm a professional fighter. I did it for 16 years. I know how to take a hit. I'm training. I've lost 35 pounds. I mean, I think, this is just something I need to get back in shape. Between the two things that kind of motivate me just to get back in shape in general, one was Mark Coleman. I mean, he's really inspired me. The fact that he's gone sober and he's lost like 45 pounds, just getting in shape, eating better, just moving. And that's the thing, not sitting on your butt and watching TV, moving. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym. We just got hammered with some big hail here in the Quad Cities here in Iowa. So we're pretty busy right now. We're going to be pretty busy for the next few months, but I'll probably be going to the gym at night and stuff. But, I can get in the gym and do something for 45 minutes. And I'm throwing weight around, and I just do cardio for 20 minutes. I'm done, man. If you don't screw around, you mess around, I'm going to listen time there. You can be in and out of the gym in 45 minutes.
Right. So honestly, and I mean this, and I was involved with Mark as well, helping him and talking to him. We've been friends, obviously, a long, long time as well. You're already winning. Dropping 35 pounds to do this is already winning in my eyes.
Exactly. I feel better. People see me, and they're like, dude, what's going on? You look really good. Like, you're walking better. I'm like, yeah, I lost 35 pounds. Like, get a little bit of a spring in my step.
And this is a joke, but I wasn't joking when I told my wife, and we were talking about you, and I said, well, when Tim and his crew do a roof, if Tim is up there, examining it and making sure that it's all right, and he's walking around, the roof's okay.
Exactly. I always tell my customers, I'm like, hey, I'm doing a decking inspection as well, just by walking on it. They'll get a kick out of that. So.
Exactly. Well, I know you got some other stuff coming on up here in the next couple minutes. I want to thank you for coming on. Let's stay in touch because I do want to try to put something.
I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. You're coming to the event, April 22nd in Oklahoma City. That's the end of our conversation. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll talk to you before. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, buddy.
All right, take care. Tim Sylvia, everybody. We go way back.
I see a sponsorship deal there, like between like a hammer company and like Mark Coleman and And the roofing, and like you could use that as training, like the Mr. Miyagi. Didn't you see all your boys over in Orlando this week?
Well, no, we didn't. We'll talk about that. There's a lot of things still to talk about.